She swore to kill him, but destiny never warned her what his eyes would do to her heart. Raised under silver moonlight, sharpened by vengeance, Aelira Nightbane was a blade forged for one purpose: to end the Alpha King. Beat. But when her eyes met Lucien Dracar's, something ancient and forbidden stirred, something that could burn the world to ash. Welcome back, Moonlight Dreamers, and if you're new, welcome to our channel where you don't find captivating stories, it finds you. If you love romantic tales that stir your heart and haunt your sleep, make sure to like, subscribe, and let the moon guide you home each night. Let's dive back into our story. The moon hung crimson over the ruins of the Moon Coven Temple. Aelira knelt before the High Priestess, her silver dagger gleaming. Priestess Varen, do you swear your life to the oath? Aelira, I swear, by moon and shadow, I will slay Lucien Dracar. The dagger sliced across her palm, blood fell on sacred stone, sealing her vow. That night, the Slayer was born, and mercy died with her. In the heart of the Emberfang Mountains, Lucien Dracar ruled the werewolf clans, his power drawn from the blood moon itself. His eyes burned gold, his aura thick with dominance. Even the wind bowed when he moved. They called him the Beast King, the unbreakable Alpha. Yet even kings dream, and his dreams burned with a woman he had never met. Aelira rode through the misted forest, every heartbeat echoing the prophecy whispered to her since birth. When moonlight meets fang, the world will bleed red. But in her chest, the oath felt heavy, hollow. Aelira, whisper. Why do I feel like the monster isn't him, but me? A wolf howl echoes. She tightens her grip on the blade. She found him alone, by the river, bare-chested and glowing faintly beneath the moon. He turned, and for the first time, her blade trembled. Their eyes locked. Time fractured. Lucien, if you've come to kill me, why does your heart sound like mine? Aelira, voice shaking. Because I don't understand what this is. She raised her blade again, but the magic binding her oath burned against her skin. The moon's curse punished hesitation, yet her heart refused to obey. Lucien stepped closer, his voice a growl wrapped in velvet. Lucien, you don't know it yet, Slayer, but the moon doesn't want my death. It wants our union. And in that breath between fear and desire, destiny changed its course. The blood moon still burned above them, its crimson light spilling across the riverbank. Aelira's breath trembled as Lucien's words echoed in her mind. The moon doesn't want my death. It wants our union. Before she could move, the ground shook. Shadows surged from the forest. Wolves, their eyes glowing amber, circling her like smoke. In a blink, Lucien was gone, leaving only his scent. Wild, intoxicating, wrong. When she woke, the world was darkness and stone. Cold air pressed against her skin. She was in Blackvale, the fortress whispered of in every Slayer tale, a kingdom of wolves and mist where no human returned alive. Chains of silver bound her wrists, yet her heart beat not with fear, but something worse, longing. Aelira, whisper. I should hate him. Why can't I? A heavy door creaked open. Boots echoed. He entered. Lucien Dracar, the Alpha King, stepped through the mist, shirt unbuttoned, eyes glowing with moonlight fire. Lucien, you should not have come here, Slayer. Aelira, then kill me. Finish what you were born to do. Lucien, you think I was born for death? You don't know what I am. He moved closer, every step heavy with restrained power. The room pulsed with magic, the air shimmering like heat. Every instinct screamed to run, yet her soul leaned closer. Lucien raised his hand, and the silver chains binding her wrists dissolved into smoke. Lucien, you're not my prisoner. The moon brought you here for a reason. Aelira, You speak of destiny as if it forgives blood. Lucian, it doesn't. It binds it. Behind him, moonlight streamed through a cracked ceiling, and for a heartbeat his shadow shifted. Horns, claws, and eyes like molten gold. The beast of Blackveil revealed itself. Aelira stumbled back, horror and awe twisting inside her. In his presence, truth burned brighter than fear. Lucian's voice broke through the silence. Lucian, every full moon the curse takes more of me. I am not the monster your coven warned you of. I am the weapon they created. Aelira, shaken. That's impossible. Lucienne, ask your priestess. Ask her who spilled my blood first. Her pulse raced. The oath in her veins throbbed painfully, as if the moon itself was listening. He stepped forward again, close enough that she could feel his warmth, smell the wild forest clinging to his skin. Lucian, you feel it too, don't you? The pull between us. Aelira, it's not real. It's the curse. Lucian, no curse makes your heart beat for its enemy. For a second, their eyes locked, and the moon's glow flared brighter, burning through the chains of her vow. Aelira gasped, clutching her chest as a faint mark, a crescent sigil, appeared over her heart. The mark of the Alpha King, a bond older than war itself. Lucian's expression darkened, not with pride, but fear. Lucian, whisper, you were never sent to kill me. You were sent to free me. The room trembled. Distant howls filled the night, hundreds of them, closing in. But neither of them saw the shadow moving through the mist, the one wearing the face of the dead. And as the blood moon rose higher, the slayer realized she was never the hunter. She was the offering. The fortress of Blackveil trembled beneath the cry of the wolves. The moon hung high and merciless, painting the world in blood and silver. Aelira stood frozen, her pulse thundering as Lucian's words echoed through her chest. You were never sent to kill me. You were sent to free me. The mark on her heart pulsed, a burning crescent that felt alive, tethered to something deep and ancient. Lucian's golden eyes flickered between rage and fear as the walls shook again. Lucian, they've found you. My enemies can scent your magic. Aelira, then let them come. I'll finish what I started. Lucian, no, Slayer. You'll die before you understand what you are. He moved closer, his hand outstretched. His power rolled through the air, hot, magnetic, and wild. He could have killed her, but instead, he chose something far more dangerous. Lucian drew a dagger from his belt, its blade carved from moonstone. Without a word, he sliced across his palm, crimson light spilling from the wound. Aelira, what are you doing? Lucienne, binding you to me. It's the only way you'll survive here. He seized her wrist before she could pull away, his blood touching hers. The moment their blood mingled, the air ignited. The blood oath, ancient, forbidden, where two souls are tied in life and in death. Pain seared through Aelira's veins. She gasped, collapsing to her knees as the mark over her heart flared bright crimson. Aelira, gasping, what have you done to me? Lucienne, saved you, and doomed us both. The chamber dimmed, torches flickering. Aelira's vision blurred, her senses sharpening unnaturally. She could hear heartbeats, the wolves outside, Lucian's steady pulse, even her own blood whispering. Her humanity twisted, reshaped, something ancient stirring in her bones. Lucian watched in silence as the sigil on her chest faded into a faint golden glow. Lucienne, you feel it now, don't you? The hunger. Aelira, no, I'm not. Lucienne, you're not human anymore. Her hands trembled. She stared at him, realization dawning like dawn after war. Aelira, horrified. You turned me into a monster. Lucienne, no, Aelira. I revealed what was already inside you. The magic between them pulsed again, a silent rhythm matching their heartbeats. The bond tethered her to him, a chain of power and desire that neither could break. Lucian stepped closer, close enough that she could feel the warmth radiating from his skin. Lucian, run if you wish. You'll only find me waiting at the end of every breath. Aelira, you think this makes me yours? Lucian, no, it makes you mine to protect. There's a difference. His hand brushed her cheek, the touch soft but commanding. For a heartbeat, the world stilled, their connection thrumming like a storm held back by silence. The door to the throne room burst open, one of Lucian's lieutenants, bloodied and pale. Lieutenant, my king, the coven has breached the borders. The high priestess rides with them. Aelira's breath caught. Aelira, that's impossible. The priestess never leaves the temple. Lucian, she's not coming for me. She's coming for you. Lightning cracked across the blood moon sky. The mark on Aelira's heart pulsed violently, and a whisper, ancient and female, echoed inside her mind. The bond is only the beginning, child. The moon does not bless love. It tests it. And as the gates of Blackvale trembled, Aelira realized the truth. The real war wasn't between human and beast. It was inside her blood. The night was breaking apart. The scent of rain and blood hung heavy as Lucian turned from the shattered gates. His jaw tightened, golden eyes flickering with fury and fear. Aelira stood behind him, the mark on her chest still pulsing with the rhythm of his heartbeat. The whisper of the moon goddess echoed faintly in her mind. The moon does not bless love. It tests it. Aelira, she's coming for me. The high priestess, my mentor. Lucian, no, she's coming for what you've become. He glanced at her, a mix of anger and something far more fragile. Lucian, you carry her power now. That mark isn't just mine, it's hers. Lucian led Aelira through the tunnels beneath Blackvale, ancient halls carved long before his reign. The air was cold, thick with the scent of silver and stone. Beneath the throne of kings lay a secret buried in blood and moonlight. They reached a chamber lit by one torch. In the center, a chain of black iron and a deep claw mark gouged into the stone. Aelira's breath caught. Aelira, what is this place? Lucian, my cage. He walked forward, hand brushing the cold metal. Lucian, every full moon I come here. I chain myself before the beast wakes. Aelira, you do this willingly? Lucian, it's not willingness, Aelira, it's survival. The curse was not a blessing of strength, it was punishment. Lucian's voice turned hollow as he spoke. Lucian, centuries ago the moon goddess gave power to my bloodline, but my ancestor defied her. He chose love over duty, so she bound every heir to the same torment. Aelira, you mean this curse is inherited? Lucian, every full moon the beast consumes me. I lose all reason, all control. When I wake, I'm surrounded by the dead. Aelira's throat tightened. The image of the ruthless Alpha King shattered, replaced by a man carrying centuries of grief. Aelira, there must be a way to break it. Lucian, there is. The curse can only be calmed by one thing, his fated mate. Her pulse quickened. Aelira, the one destined to love and destroy you. Lucian, yes, and now I think the moon has chosen you. The bond between them throbbed like fire under skin. Aelira stepped closer, torn between fear and the ache in her heart. Aelira, if I'm your fated mate, then I'm your undoing. Lucian, or my salvation. He reached for her, and as his hand brushed hers, a flash of light burst between them. Visions flooded her mind. Lucian on his knees beneath a blood-red sky, her dagger buried in his heart, and her own tears falling onto his lifeless face. She stumbled back, gasping. Aelira, no, I saw it. I saw you die. Lucian. Then the goddess has already shown you how this ends. Aelira turned toward the narrow window. The full moon had risen, burning crimson. Lucian's breath hitched. His hands trembled. The curse was waking. Lucian, go. Leave this place. Now. Aelira, I'm not leaving you. Lucian, you don't understand. Once it takes me, I can't stop. His eyes blazed gold, fangs elongating, claws tearing through his palms. The air rippled with dark magic. Aelira stepped forward despite the danger. Aelira, Lucian, fight it. Lucian, I can't, not without you. The ground split. Chains flew from the walls, binding him as his body twisted into monstrous form. A roar erupted, part man, part beast, shaking the very stone of Black Veil. And as the blood moon reached its peak, Aelira realized the cruelest truth. The only way to save him might be to kill him. Black Veil lay in ruins of silence after the beast's roar. Aelira knelt in the shattered chamber, trembling, staring at the chains that had restrained Lucian. Smoke curled from broken stone, but the monster was gone. From the shadowed archway, a figure emerged. Lucian, human once more, his skin streaked with blood and ash, his golden eyes burned with exhaustion and shame. Aelira, you fought it. Lucian, no, you stopped me. He looked down at her, voice rough, vulnerable. Lucian, you called my name, and the beast hesitated. No one's ever done that before. Aelira's heart thudded painfully. The man she'd been trained to kill had become the one her soul couldn't bear to lose. At dawn, Lucian gathered what remained of his pack. Warriors wounded, loyalty trembling like fragile glass. Beta Kale. The rogues are closing in from the northern ridge. They carry silver. Someone's guiding them. Lucian's eyes darkened. Lucian. The coven. Aelira stiffened. My coven? She whispered. Lucian, they want me dead, but they'll go through my people to do it. I won't let them. He turned to her. Lucian, you can wield fire and moonlight. Train with me. Fight beside me. Aelira, you trust me that easily? Lucian, no, but I trust what burns inside you, because it's the same fire that haunts me. The courtyard shimmered with morning light. Lucian and Aelira circled each other, blades drawn, eyes locked. Steel met silver, fire met breath. Two predators bound by fate, testing the space between blood and desire. Lucian lunged. Aelira parried, sparks flying as their swords collided. Her movements were fast, almost too graceful for a slayer. Lucian, you're holding back. Aelira, you couldn't handle it if I didn't. Their laughter broke the tension, but the air between them shimmered, alive, dangerous. He caught her wrist mid-swing, twisting her close until their faces nearly touched. Lucian, your heart beats faster. Aelira, maybe yours is louder. Their blades fell to the ground, forgotten. For a moment the war, the curse, everything vanished. Night came quietly. The moon hung pale over Black Veil. Aelira sat by the fire, staring into the flames. Lucian approached, his voice a low growl wrapped in tenderness. Lucian, you fight like someone who's never been allowed to rest. Aelira, rest gets you killed. He knelt beside her, close enough that their shoulders brushed. Lucian, you're wrong. Rest lets you remember why you fight. Aelira turned, their eyes locking in the firelight, his gold, hers silver. Something in her chest broke open, the Slayer and the Alpha, two broken halves finding rhythm in the same storm. His hand rose, brushing a lock of hair from her face. Her breath caught. Aelira, Lucian, don't look at me like that. I'm not the hero in your story. Aelira, maybe you're the reason I stopped believing in villains. A flare shot across the sky, silver fire burning through the dark. Lucian's head snapped up. Lucian, no. Before Aelira could move, explosions thundered from the northern ridge. Wolves howled, not in defiance, but in agony. The rogues had come, and they brought more than silver. Lucian unsheathed his blade, fury in his eyes. Lucian, get to the keep, now! Aelira, I can fight. Lucian, that's what I'm afraid of. He turned to face the battlefield, but before he could shift, an arrow streaked through the air. Aelira saw it too late. It glowed with moonlight, her coven's magic. The arrow struck Lucian square in the chest. He stumbled, falling to one knee, blood glowing crimson under the fire's light. Aelira. Lucian. And as the flames devoured the night, the Slayer realized she hadn't come to kill the Alpha King. She'd come to save him. Lucian's body fell hard against the stones, the silver-lit arrow buried deep in his chest. Aelira's scream tore through the burning night as she rushed to his side. Her fingers trembled as she reached for the arrow. Its glow burned her skin. Aelira. No. Please stay with me. Lucien's golden eyes flickered open, dim but defiant. Lucien. Run. They're here for you. Aelira. I'm not leaving you. The silver fire from the arrow pulsed, spreading through his veins like venom. Above them, silhouettes emerged. Cloaked figures descending through the smoke, chanting in a language Aelira knew too well. The Moon Coven had come, not for the beast, but for their fallen huntress. Aelira spun, summoning a burst of flame that flared from her palms. Her power cracked the air, the same fire Lucien once said burned like life itself. Coven leader, Aelira Nightbane, you were sent to slay the Alpha King. Instead, you kneel beside him. Aelira, you lied to me. You told me he was the monster. Coven leader, he is the monster, and now, so are you. The Coven's magic surged. Ropes of moonlight lashed toward her, glowing with deadly intent. Aelira shielded Lucian's body with her own, fire exploding from her fingertips. The blast sent two witches crashing into the walls, but the effort left her gasping. Lucian groaned, blood glistening black in the dim light. Aelira tore a strip of her tunic, pressing it to the wound, ignoring the pain. Lucian, you should have killed me when you had the chance. Aelira, then maybe I wouldn't have learned what real monsters look like. The word struck deeper than any blade. For the first time, Lucian saw her not as his enemy, but as his equal, a warrior defying destiny. A howl broke through the night, Kale and the surviving wolves charging from the woods. The Coven retreated, leaving behind trails of silver fire that hissed in the rain. Kyle, they'll return. The Coven never forgives betrayal. Aelira met his gaze, her own filled with pain and resolve. Aelira, then let them come. I'm done fighting for their lies. Later, in the heart of Blackvale's ruins, Aelira stood before Lucian's bed. He was pale, his pulse faint, his breath ragged. She whispered the forbidden words of healing, words only a moon priestess should know. Silver light bloomed from her palms, threading through the wound. For every breath she gave him, a part of her soul burned away, the price of betraying her kind. Lucian stirred, eyes flickering open. His hand caught hers, weak but firm. Lucian, you defied your gods for me. Aelira, maybe they weren't my gods after all. He exhaled, his golden gaze locking on hers, something unspoken passing between them, fragile and fierce. Lucian, then you belong here, with me. Aelira turned away, chest heavy. She stepped outside into the rain, the air still humming with lingering magic. Her reflection glimmered in a puddle at her feet, and her eyes widened. Where her skin had touched Lucian's blood, a mark now burned across her collarbone, a crescent-shaped brand glowing faintly silver and gold. Aelira, the mark of the bonded. Suddenly, a voice echoed behind her, haunting, familiar. Coven leader. You've sealed your fate, huntress. The moon has judged you. Pain seared through her body. Aelira screamed, collapsing as moonlight wrapped around her like chains. And beneath the weeping sky, The huntress realized the greatest curse wasn't the Alpha's, it was now her own. Moonlight shimmered across the ruins, silver and cold. Aelira awoke gasping, her body drenched in sweat, her heart pounding like a drum of war. The chains of light that had bound her were gone, but the mark on her skin still pulsed, glowing faintly gold beneath her collarbone. The moon had judged her, but not destroyed her. That could only mean one thing. Her fate was far from over. Lucian knelt beside her, his hand brushing damp hair from her face. His touch sent sparks racing through her veins, the same energy she'd felt during the blood oath. Lucian, you bear the moonfire. No mortal survives that. Aelira, maybe I'm not mortal anymore. Their eyes met, two souls bound by destiny neither asked for. Hours later, Lucian led her deep into Blackveil's heart, to a hidden vault beneath the old temple. The air shimmered with old magic. Torches flared as he touched the wall, revealing shelves of silver scrolls etched with moonlight. Lucian, these were stolen from your coven centuries ago. I kept them sealed. Until now. Aelira, why show me this? Lucian, because the mark on you changes everything. Aelira stepped closer, tracing the runes. The script pulsed like living light. As her fingers brushed the letters, her eyes widened. She could read them. The language of the moonfire, once lost to all but the chosen. Her lips trembled as she whispered the ancient prophecy aloud. When blood of fang and fire of moon unite, the curse shall break, or the world shall burn. Aelira turned to him, voice barely a whisper. Aelira, it's us. The prophecy isn't about enemies. It's about a union. Lucian's jaw clenched. Lucian, you're saying the only way to end this curse is for us to be bound completely? Aelira, yes, but it doesn't say what happens after. She looked away, pain flickering in her eyes. Aelira, the same fire that unites us might kill me. Lucien's golden gaze darkened. Lucien, then we find another way. Aelira, you don't understand. There is no other way. He stepped closer until his breath mingled with hers. Heat and moonlight colliding. Lucian, then I'll defy prophecy itself if it means keeping you alive. Their bond pulsed between them, visible now. Threads of silver fire winding around their hands, glowing like veins of the moon. As the light flared, Aelira gasped. Visions flashed, memories not her own. The moon goddess, veiled in shadow, speaking to a woman who looked like her. Your line will hunt the Alpha, until the day the moon turns red, and only when love defies vengeance shall balance return. Aelira stumbled back, clutching her head. Aelira, I've seen her. The goddess. She made this curse. Lucian's voice dropped to a growl. Lucian, then she'll answer for it. Aelira, no, Lucian. She is the curse. The mark on her chest suddenly flared, searing bright gold. The ground trembled, shelves shattered, scrolls burst into light, spiraling upward. Lucian. Aelira, what's happening? Aelira. The prophecy, it's binding us. Energy exploded from her, hurling Lucian backward. She rose into the air, her eyes glowing white, her voice layered with divine echo. Aelira, moon goddess. When love awakens the fire, the curse will claim its due. Then, silence. Aelira collapsed into Lucian's arms, unconscious, her heartbeat faint, her mark flickering like dying flame. The Slayer had become something more, and something the goddess would soon come to fear. Lucian knelt in the center of the ruined vault, cradling Aelira's limp body. The golden glow from her mark faded with every passing breath. His claws dug into the ground, rage and fear warring in his chest. Lucian, don't you dare leave me. The bond between them pulsed once, weak like a dying ember. Then thunder rolled overhead. Outside, the sky bled crimson. The blood moon had risen. The night of destiny had come, and with it, the armies of Blackvale's doom. The rogue clans descended upon Blackvale's borders, wolves twisted by the Moon Coven's dark magic. Their eyes burned silver, their howls hollow with enchantment. Lucian stood, his wounds forgotten, fury radiating like heat. He turned toward the gates, his voice a growl of command. Lucien. Kale, guard the vault. She lives, no matter the cost. Kale. And you? Lucien. I hunt the ones who brought this war. He tore through the battlefield, every movement pure power and precision. The Alpha King unleashed. Yet even as he fought, he felt her. Aelira's heartbeat echoing faintly through the bond, calling him back with every breath. Inside the vault, Aelira stirred. The golden mark on her chest flared, light spilling from her veins. The air trembled, her wounds knitting, her power reigniting. Visions flooded her, Lucian bleeding under the crimson moon, surrounded, roaring against impossible odds. Aelira. No, not him. Without thought she moved, her body weightless, her mind burning. The moonfire answered her call, wrapping her in light as she vanished from the vault. She appeared amidst chaos, flames, claws, and blood. Lucien was on his knees, surrounded by corrupted wolves, his strength fading. Aelira landed in front of him, eyes blazing gold and silver. Lucien. You should have stayed hidden. Aelira. And miss watching you die? Not a chance. She raised her hands. The air split open with light, moonfire searing across the battlefield. Every shadow burned, every corrupted wolf fell screaming into dust. The moonfire within her no longer obeyed the goddess. It obeyed only her heart. When the storm cleared, she turned. Lucian was staring at her, awe and desire warring in his eyes. Lucian. You're magnificent. Aelira. You owe me one, Alpha. The moonlight fell upon them, crimson and silver merging as if the heavens watched. Lucien stepped closer, his breath warm against her skin. Lucien. The bond calls to me. Aelira. Then stop fighting it. Their lips met, and the world erupted. Light burst across the night sky, a wave of golden fire racing through the clouds. The blood moon flared brighter, the stars dimming beneath its blaze. The earth trembled as ancient power awakened, the prophecy set in motion. In that single kiss, the Slayer and the Alpha became one. Love bound by curse, power bound by fate. But as they pulled apart, the warmth faded, replaced by pain. The mark on their chests burned brighter, twisting into a new shape, a ring of intertwined fangs and flame. Aelira gasped, clutching her heart. Aelira. Lucien. Something's wrong. Lucien. What did we just unleash? The moon above them cracked with thunder, a shadow forming across its face. And beneath the fractured moon, the first seal of the goddess broke, heralding a darkness neither of them could control. The world still burned with the aftershock of the kiss. The sky pulsed with blood-red light as lightning carved through the clouds. Aelira and Lucien stood beneath the fractured moon, their marks glowing with unbearable heat. Aelira. Lucien. What's happening? Lucien. The moon is responding to us. We broke its chains. But before she could speak again, pain tore through him. His golden eyes flared, then darkened to molten black. His breath turned into a growl. The air around him thickened, shimmering with raw alpha energy. The kiss that bound them had also awakened something far more dangerous. The rage of the beast. Kale stumbled into the courtyard, carrying a blood-stained scroll. A sigil from the Moon Coven burned into its surface. Kyle. My king. This came from the Coven's spies. It names the Slayer who was sent to kill you. Lucien snatched the scroll, eyes scanning the ink, his name entwined with another. Aelira Nightbane. The world seemed to stop. His claws extended. His aura cracked the stones beneath his feet. Lucien. You swore you didn't serve them anymore. Aelira. I didn't lie. I broke my oath the moment I met you. Lucienne, but you took the oath. You drew my death in blood before you ever knew my name. The walls of the throne hall shuddered. Flames flickered blue, reacting to his fury. Wolves whimpered and backed away. The Alpha's rage was legend, but this was something older, something the goddess herself feared. Lucien's form began to shift, bones cracking, claws lengthening, muscles rippling with shadow. His growl tore through the air like thunder. Aelira reached for him, tears streaming down her face. Aelira. Lucien, please, listen to me. Lucien, you were made to destroy me. With one swipe, his power sent her crashing into a marble pillar. The force burned her skin with streaks of moonfire, yet through the pain she didn't raise her weapon. Aelira, if you want my blood, take it, but know this. I never wanted your death, only your heart. Her voice cut through the storm. For an instant the beast hesitated. His claws trembled inches from her throat. Love, the only force that could calm the Alpha, and the only one strong enough to destroy him. Lucien roared, slamming his claws into the ground instead of her. The shockwave shattered the hall's pillars, flames devouring the banners. When dawn's first light broke, Lucien stood human again, trembling, blood streaking his chest. His eyes were full of torment. Lucien, before I lose what's left of me, I have to protect you from me. He called upon the ancient binding magic of kings. Silver runes crawled across the air as chains of moonlight formed, wrapping gently, painfully, around Aelira's wrists. Aelira. Lucien, no, don't do this. Lucien, until I can trust myself, or you'll remain here, in the tower. Aelira. This isn't protection, it's a cage. Lucien, then consider it mercy. The door sealed behind her with a shattering sound, leaving her alone in the tower of glass and moonlight. The slayer who swore to kill the Alpha King was now his prisoner, and his only salvation. As the sun sank, the fractured moon began to glow again, deeper, darker, pulsing with corruption. Lucien stood on the castle balcony, eyes locked on the sky. The mark on his chest burned black. In the tower, Aelira felt it too, a sharp pain, as if claws raked across her heart. Aelira. No. Not again. The full moon's too soon. Below, Lucien's reflection shimmered, and in its place, she saw his wolf form staring back at her, eyes red with fury. The moon hung broken. The beast stirred once more, and Aelira realized, if she couldn't tame his rage by dawn, the Alpha King she loved would be the death of them all. The night wind hissed through the cracks of her prison. From her window, Aelira saw Lucien on the battlements, his eyes glowing crimson under the broken moon. The mark on her wrist burned, a chain of light that connected her heart to his, pulling tighter with every heartbeat. When the moon breaks, the truth awakens, and love becomes both the blessing and the curse. She pressed her hand against the cold glass. Aelira. Please, Lucien. Hold on. But exhaustion overtook her. Her vision blurred. And then, the light of the moon swallowed everything. Aelira found herself standing in an endless field of stars. Silver mist curled around her ankles, and from within it, a figure emerged, radiant, otherworldly, her eyes mirrors of the moon itself. Moon goddess. Daughter of Nightbane, the cycle turns again. Aelira. Who are you? Goddess. I am the one your kind forgot, of the hand that wrote your fate. Aelira's breath caught. Aelira. Why him? Why me? The goddess lifted her palm, and visions spilled from her fingertips, flashes of another life. A battlefield drenched in light, a woman who looked like Aelira standing beside Lucien, their hands joined as the world burned. Goddess. Long ago you were his mate, Aelira, the moon's chosen. You loved him beyond reason, and for that love I cursed him. The words struck like a blade. Aelira. You cursed him? Why? Goddess. Because love made him defy me, He tried to steal immortality, to bind your soul to his beyond death. When you perished, I burned his soul with rage so he'd never find peace." Aelira staggered back, her hands trembling. "Aelira, so every tear, every scar on it was your doing?" "Goddess, no, it was his choice. But you, my child, you returned to end it. You are his reincarnation, his redemption or his ruin." Aelira fell to her knees as the stars dimmed. The truth twisted through her chest. All this time she thought she'd chosen him, but destiny had chosen for her. "Aelira, so I never had a choice." "Goddess, choice is an illusion when love is eternal." Tears streamed down her face. She looked up at the goddess, her voice trembling between anger and sorrow. "Aelira, then why bring me back?" "Goddess, because the curse deepens. If you do not save him before the next blood moon, his soul will be lost, and your own will burn with it." The goddess reached out, touching Aelira's forehead. A surge of light coursed through her veins. Warmth, pain, memory. She gasped as fragments of her past life flooded in. Lucian's laughter, his touch, his promise. "Even death cannot take you from me." Aelira jolted awake in the tower, drenched in sweat. The moonlight had turned blood red again. The runes around her wrists flickered and shattered. "Aelira, he's dying. The curse is taking him." Without hesitation, she raced to the door, but the sound that met her froze her blood. A deep, guttural growl echoed from the courtyard below. She leaned over the window just in time to see Lucien collapse, his body writhing as black mist poured from his mark, twisting into a monstrous wolf shadow. The beast had finally devoured the man. Aelira's heart screamed. The goddess's voice whispered in her mind, "Goddess, you can save him, but only by surrendering what remains of yourself." She gripped the window frame, torn between love and terror. "Aelira, if fate made me his, then fate will answer to me." Outside, the sky split open with a red streak. Lucian's wolf form lifted its head, eyes glowing with divine fury. The mark on Aelira's chest ignited, pulling her toward him. "Aelira, Lucian, please remember me." As the moon's shadow engulfed the land, the goddess's whisper returned, softer now, almost sorrowful. "Goddess, then let the bond decide who is truly chosen." The crimson light split the heavens as Aelira's form blazed with moonfire. Her soul, unbound from her mortal shell, streamed toward the courtyard where Lucien's beast howled in agony. His body convulsed, claws raking stone, eyes flickering between gold and shadow. Love had called to the curse, and the curse had answered. The moment her light touched him, the ground quaked. Fire and frost burst outward, shaking the castle's bones. The monstrous aura wavered. The beast turned, and for a heartbeat Lucien's gaze met hers. "Lucien, Aelira." The moonfire flared, dragging her back into her body. She collapsed beside him, trembling, her chains finally shattered. Lucien stumbled backward, torn between two natures. His chest heaved, his claws dripped silver blood. "Aelira, you're fighting it. Don't let it take you." "Lucian, I can't, not when you're near. Your scent, it burns through every wall I built." He pressed a hand against the mark on her wrist, the same sigil pulsing on his chest. Their light merged, binding them again, harder than before. "Lucien, you should have stayed away." "Aelira, I tried, but destiny didn't listen." The energy between them thickened, fear, anger, hunger, all blending into something far more dangerous. Rain began to fall, cold, cleansing, hissing as it met Lucien's burning skin. He looked at her as if seeing her for the first time, not as a slayer, not as an enemy, but as something sacred and forbidden. "Lucian, you should hate me. I killed everything you were sworn to protect." Aelira. Maybe I should, but I can't. She took a step forward. He didn't move. Their breath mingled. The mark on her wrist flared brighter. And when his fingers brushed her skin, the glow spread across their bodies, linking heartbeat to heartbeat. What began as war turned to worship. Two souls chained by desire, burning where they should have broken. Their lips met, a collision of fury and fate. Power surged through them both, cracking the earth beneath their feet. The blood moon above pulsed in rhythm with their hearts as if the sky itself bore witness. Later, the storm had passed, but the world felt different. Charged. Aelira lay beside Lucian in the ruins of the courtyard, their marks glowing faintly like twin embers. Lucian, the bond is complete. Aelira, what does that mean? Lucian, it means you're part of me now, my strength, my curse, my mate. Her breath caught. Aelira, and if the moon goddess still wants your soul? Lucian, then she'll have to take mine through you. The wind carried a low hum, ancient, foreboding. In the distance, the wolves howled not in fear, but in reverence. The ground trembled again. A beam of silver light speared through the clouds and struck the courtyard. Aelira screamed as the mark on her skin seared white-hot. Goddess, you were warned, child of Nightbane. Love was not yours to claim. Lucian shielded her as lightning rained down, his roar shaking the night. Lucian, if she's the moon's chosen, then I'll defy the moon itself. The silver beam widened, swallowing them both. The last thing Aelira saw was Lucian's face, eyes burning gold, fangs bared, before the world went white. When passion defies the divine, even the stars must choose a side. The light from the heavens tore through Blackvale like a blade, splitting stone and sky. Aelira gasped as she was thrown against the ground, her body pulsing with moonfire. Lucian's voice echoed through the chaos. Lucian, she belongs to me, not you. From the shattering glow, the moon goddess descended, her figure towering, draped in starlight. Her eyes burned like twin eclipses. Goddess, then let the mortal king defend what was never his to claim. She raised her hand. The mark on Aelira's skin flared. Pain lanced through her chest, a divine pull, as if her very soul were being torn away. Lucian caught her before she fell, his claws digging into the earth. Lucian, I won't lose her again. And then, the moon split in two. All across the realm, the moon coven rose from the shadows, legions of warriors cloaked in silver, their blades glinting under the fractured moons. From Blackvale's peaks, Lucian's wolves answered their challenge. The sky bled red and white, two moons, two powers, colliding. Aelira's eyes snapped open. Her once human pupils shimmered like molten silver. She summoned her moonblade, forged from the fusion of her slayer steel and Lucian's fire. It sang with both fury and love. Aelira, if the goddess wants blood, she'll have mine and his together. Lucian stood beside her, his aura a storm of crimson flame. Lucian, then we fight as one. Their powers ignited. Moonlight and wolf-fire spiraling into a radiant storm that shattered the first wave of attackers. Every movement flowed in unison, his claws deflecting spears, her blade cutting through enchantments older than kingdoms. The goddess watched her creations tear at the heavens. Love turned to rebellion and rebellion to legend. The Moon Coven's high priestess stepped forward, her staff glowing with divine runes. Priestess, you defy the Creator herself. For that, your bond will be unmade. She struck the earth. Light erupted, separating Aelira and Lucian. Chains of moonlight snared them both, dragging them toward opposite ends of the battlefield. Aelira, no, don't. Lucian, Aelira. But the goddess's voice cut through the storm. Goddess, for balance to return, one must fall. The moons above flickered, one red, one silver, warring for dominance. Aelira felt the pull again, deep and cruel. Her power surged, uncontrolled. The ground split open, revealing rivers of light. Lucien, if one must fall, then let it be me. He broke his chains with a roar that shook the world, flames bursting from his back as the alpha form consumed him. Part man, part wolf, crowned in fire. He lunged toward the goddess herself. Lucien struck the goddess's barrier. Sparks of divine light scattered like dying stars. For a heartbeat he wounded her. The first mortal ever to do so. Goddess, you dare spill celestial blood? She raised both hands. The two moons blazed. Lucien's flames began to die, his body trembling under her wrath. Aelira's scream pierced the heavens. Aelira, stop. Take me instead. Her moonblade burst into white fire as she threw herself between them. The blade struck the ground, and the world went still. Love once defied the gods, now it demanded their judgment. The goddess stared at them, one king burning, one huntress bleeding, and her fury twisted into sorrow. Goddess, so it ends as it began, with love consuming all. She reached out her hand, and Aelira's body began to dissolve into light. The mark on her wrist flared like a dying star. Lucien caught her, eyes wide with horror. Lucien, no, you can't take her. Goddess, every power must pay its price. She is the key, and the lock. As her body faded, Aelira whispered one last time. Aelira, find me, in the next moonrise. Then she was gone, her soul scattering into silver fragments that floated toward the sky. Lucien fell to his knees, the world collapsing around him. Above, the two moons drew closer, merging into one blazing sphere. The war had ended, but in its ashes a god wept, and a king vowed to burn eternity itself to bring her back. Smoke and silence blanketed Blackvale. The goddess had vanished, leaving behind a broken world and a king on his knees. Lucien's breath came ragged, his claws digging into the earth still scorched by moonfire. All around him, the wolves knelt in grief. But then, a heartbeat. Soft, familiar. From the heavens, a single shard of silver light descended, falling into his open hand. Lucien. Aelira. It was her mark, still glowing faintly. The moment it touched his skin, agony ripped through him. His veins burned red, his eyes turning to twin suns of fury. The curse, once dormant, roared back to life. Love had saved him once. Now it threatened to destroy everything she died for. The merged moon blazed crimson. Lucien's control shattered. Fire erupted from his chest, spreading like veins of lava through the ruins. His wolves backed away, terrified. The ground cracked beneath him. Lucien, if the goddess took her, then I'll burn the heavens to ash. But with each roar the curse tightened, dark energy coiling around him, turning flesh to shadow. His soul was unraveling, consumed by the beast within. Somewhere beyond the veil of death, Aelira's voice echoed softly, a whisper carried through eternity. Aelira, Lucien, don't forget who you are. Her words struck like lightning. The mark on his chest pulsed once more, and suddenly, the silver fragments of her soul coalesced into a glowing figure before him. Aelira appeared, not fully alive, not yet spirit, bound between realms. Her hair flowed like moonlight, her eyes gleaming with sorrow and love. Lucien's monstrous form froze, torn between rage and relief. Lucien, you came back. Aelira, not for long. The goddess gave me one choice, to save you, or save the world. She lifted her hand. In her palm materialized the blessed moonblade, its edge shimmering with divine light. Lucien, no, she wouldn't. Aelira, if I don't kill you before the next blood moon rises, you'll lose yourself completely. You'll devour everything, even me. Tears welled in her eyes as the blade trembled in her grasp. The wind carried the scent of ash and roses. Every story of love meets its test. This one demanded blood. Aelira took a step closer. Lucien didn't move. The fire beneath his skin flickered like dying embers. Lucienne, if killing me saves you, then do it. Aelira, don't ask me that. Lucienne, you were born to slay monsters. Maybe I was born to die by your hand. She raised the blade, the moonlight reflecting in her tears. But when she looked at him, the king, the beast, the man who had defied gods for her resolve crumbled. Aelira, you're not my enemy. You're my heart. Lucian, then let your heart strike true. Her scream tore through the silence as she plunged the blade forward, only for his hand to catch it mid-air. The impact sent a wave of moonfire exploding outward, blinding the night. When the light cleared, Aelira was on the ground, her blade cracked in half. Lucian stood over her, his eyes no longer gold, but white-hot, divine and monstrous. Goddess, the slayer chose love, and doomed the world. The sky split open. Rivers of crimson light poured from the moon, setting forests ablaze. Lucien's form grew, a shadow stretching across the horizon. Lucienne. It's too late, Aelira. The beast is free. She reached out, her voice trembling. Aelira. Then I'll chase you through every lifetime until I bring you home. He vanished into the firestorm, leaving her kneeling beneath the bleeding sky. The sword had spared his heart, but cursed the world instead. Lucian's chest heaved as the red moon bled its light over Blackvale's battlefield. The air burned with the scent of ash and sorrow. Aelira stood before him, her moon blade trembling in her grip, its edge glowing with divine fire, forged for this very moment. Lucian's eyes, once fierce and golden, now glimmered with agony and understanding. Do it, Aelira, he whispered, voice rough and full of love. End this before I become what the goddess feared. Tears streamed down her cheeks. I can't, she breathed. Not after everything. You must, he said, stepping closer. If you love me, set me free. The beast within him surged, claws tearing through flesh as his control slipped. Aelira's pulse thundered. She could feel the moonfire inside her scream for release, urging her to strike before it was too late. Lucian's last ounce of strength brought him close enough to touch her face. Then let me die as your mate, not your monster. Their lips met, one final searing kiss that carried every promise, every pain, every heartbeat they had shared, and as his lips left hers, she drove the blade into his heart. A burst of light erupted across the land, shattering the red moon above them. The curse's chains screamed as they broke, and the wolves below howled in freedom. Lucian's body began to fade, dissolving into threads of silver fire that spiraled into the heavens. Aelira fell to her knees, clutching the fading warmth where his heart had beat. Lucienne, she whispered, voice breaking like glass. But as dawn broke over Blackvale, the moonfire flared again, brighter than ever before, forming the silhouette of a wolf made of pure light above her. It howled once, a haunting, eternal sound that echoed through the reborn world. Then, from the heavens, a voice, deep and familiar, whispered her name. Aelira looked up, her tears freezing in the silver dawn. The mark on her wrist glowed once more. The bond isn't broken, the wind seemed to say. The Alpha King still lives. The days that followed the shattering of the blood moon were painted in quiet grief and fragile hope. Blackvale, once cloaked in endless night, now bathed in the gentle silver of a reborn dawn. The wolves roamed freely again, their eyes clear of the curse that had bound them for centuries. Humans returned to their villages, and for the first time in generations, peace whispered through the forests. At the heart of it all stood Aelira, the slayer who had become queen. Her once battle-worn armor now rested beside the throne as she led both pack and people. They called her the Moonfire Sovereign, the one who united light and shadow. Yet every victory carved a deeper ache within her. The bond on her wrist still glowed faintly, pulsing in rhythm with a heart that no longer beat in this world. Each night, When the torches dimmed and silence fell, she would walk to the cliffs overlooking the valley, the place where Lucian had fallen, and where the light of his soul had risen. The wind there carried his scent still, wild pine and storm fire. On the night of the new moon, the sky stretched empty, black and endless. Aelira stood beneath it, her cloak rippling in the chill breeze. For the first time since his death, she whispered his name aloud. Lucien. The air shifted. The wind stirred, warm, alive, curling around her like unseen arms. Then came the voice. Deep, familiar, eternal. You were never meant to kill me, it murmured through the dark. Only to love me. Aelira gasped, tears slipping free as the moonless sky shimmered faintly with threads of silver light. Her wrist burned with the Alpha's mark, glowing brighter and brighter until the night itself seemed to breathe. Then she saw it. Faint at first, then undeniable. The moon slowly rekindling its glow, no longer red but pure white. She fell to her knees, overwhelmed by the light washing over her face. The air hummed with power, not destruction this time but rebirth. From the heart of that glow, a low, distant growl echoed, not of fury, but of promise. Aelira's eyes widened, her pulse racing. Lucien, she whispered. The light trembled, forming the faint outline of a man, tall, broad-shouldered, his golden eyes gleaming like molten sunfire. And then, the whisper came again, soft as the breath of the wind. The bond is eternal, my queen. Did you truly think death could keep me away? The moon flared brighter, and from within its glow, a shadow began to descend toward her.